Hey everybody, it's Old School Nerd. This is the second song from Nervosa that has come out in the last month and a half. I'm beginning to get worried. I think something's brewing. I think something's up. New album, new songs, same in-your-face attitude. The ladies from South America are back, and I don't think they're taking prisoners. I don't think so. I grew up in an age where you had two types of metal. You had glam rock, glam metal, and that power stuff that was good for MTV. And then you had the stuff that was not on TV or radio at all. You know what I'm talking about. Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth 2. There's some really heavy bands back in the day. And of course, in the 90s, we had Pantera and a few other ones that just kept that no frills, no nonsense, melt your face, and leave you somewhat psychologically damaged. It's what we loved. And we don't get to see a lot of it anymore. There's always some kind of nuance or some kind of modern takes or twists or a whole bunch of layering, and we get lost, right? Nah. There are still bands that just throw down hard like they're going into a fight, and they're going in with hands and feet, and that's it. There's still bands out there. One of those bands is an all-woman ensemble from South America called Nervosa. This is called Ghost Notes. It's the second from the album, and I'm pretty excited about it. Are you ready? You're not. None of us are. That's the point. Here we go. Nervosa, Ghost Notes.
Just one step to reach darkness. The golden breeze makes you fade. Silence has a sound that worries us. The feeling that struggles takes our voice out, takes our energy to breathe. Something inside desire. Walk into shadows. We lose ourselves. Love was killed, breaking ghost notes. When you burn it out.
Tall and tan and long and lovely. The girl from Ipa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was in Rio de Janeiro, and I was just kind of, walking on the beach with a drink in my hand, enjoying the sun and maybe some Latin vibes, just kind of enjoying myself. And then I remember you can slip into Argentina and get some really good beef and heavy metal. No, seriously, growing up in my brain, I thought, and this is me, that musically, South America is very similar to Latin America. And apparently, it is completely not. Argentina, Uruguay are very European style, closer to like modern European areas that are not Latin. Even though the core languages of Argentina and Chile and Uruguay is Spanish, but there's a lot of melting pot there, right? And then Brazil, not Spanish at all. It's Portuguese, right? And then when you get further north, the northern parts of South America, it becomes more Spanish inflection, more Spanish influence and stuff. But there's one thing in South America that does not waver. And that's the thrashiness and aggressiveness of their metal. There was a time when Megadeth was touring the world, and they toured Europe, and it was yay. And then they toured America, and it was like, yay. And then they went to South America. Holy crap, look up that video. They show up in South America, and they start playing Symphony of Destruction live, and you couldn't hear the song. You couldn't hear the PA. Couldn't hear drums. Couldn't hear guitar. Couldn't hear Dave singing. Why? The crowd was singing the song louder than the PA system. In South America, they don't screw around with their metal. They don't screw around with steak. They don't screw around with weather. They don't screw around with snakes. No. No. And metal? I really feel that in South America, the pureness of thrash, speed, and heavy metal could be one of the few places left in the world where it remains untouched by modern productionist hands. So if you're a metal purist, maybe you're going to your vacations in the wrong places. That's all I'm saying. Go to Santiago, Chile, thrash it up. Go to Argentina, thrash it up. Go to Uruguay, thrash it up. Go to Brazil, thrash it up in Portuguese. Do whatever you got to do. But I'm telling you, if you are a lover of that hardcore, old school, no thrills, kick you in the face with a golf shoe repeatedly metal, South America. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that metal in America is diluted. I'm not saying that hardcore and metalcore have taken over and power metal have taken over Europe. I'm not saying that either. And I'm not saying that Australia is not insane with their metal. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that Japan can't help but develop, see how far beyond the threshold they can go. I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is South America is determined to keep the purity of what is extreme metal. I don't think they're ever going to waver. And thank God for that. Or Satan. It depends. I don't know. They still do those album covers there, which is awesome. You know what? I have so many questions. I'm going to have to ask what's up. Let me work on that. Let's get back to the video.
In the mud of our thoughts,
I'm gonna get back to this reprisal chorus. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna falter. Okay. Can I say? Can I admit that I was not ready for that bass interlude? I was not ready for that dynamic segue into that guitar solo. I was not ready for them to step away from the constant barrage of monster chorddom. Yeah, I made that up. To what they just did. That was absolutely dynamic. Wasn't prepared for it. I should have been. It's Nervosa. They're not like they just started this yesterday. They're not a bunch of kids in a strip mall in Chile just thrashing at stuff. That's Cannibal Corpse or Flesh God Apocalypse. What I'm referring to is that was very dynamic, which I wasn't expecting. I'm so excited for it. I'm all about that. I have more questions now. I have a lot of questions. I must find out. I'm working on it. Hold on. A fade out? A fade out. We're doing a fade out right now? A long ass fade out too. All right, so much going on here. Ghost notes. All right, so the epic fade out. That's OG, old school stuff. That intro, the dynamic, the heaviness, the thrashiness of that, definitely old school stuff, which I love. It's kind of why my name is the way it is. But the interlude, the bass segue, that bridge, the guitar, all of that stuff, I was not expecting. There's only two options. It's two options. Number one, I could get on a plane to Brazil and try to figure it out. Number one, expensive. Can't afford a plane ticket. I'm poor. I'm on YouTube. Come on. I make no money. Number two, I don't speak Portuguese. That's gonna be problematic. However, most people in Brazil speak English, so I think I'm saved on that one. End of the day, I need to know more. Because the first song scared me. This song technically seduces me in a way, musically. Before the third release comes out, I have so many questions that must be answered before we go any further. So, let's do this. I'm going to bust out the magical snap of the fingers right here. Okay. We're going to do some metal magic, old school metal magic. Are you ready? I have questions. They have answers. Let's find out what the hell's going on. Ready? Bibbidi, bobbidi, booyah. Prika! What are y'all doing? What have you done? What was that? What was that insanity that we just saw and we heard?
It's metal and haze.
We know that. Okay. So we got to talk about it. Welcome back. We haven't spoken in a while. It's awesome to see you as always. How are you doing? How are the ladies of Nervosa doing?
We are super excited and super happy and excited to show all the songs and everything that we are planning and doing and working very hard for more than a year. So we could not be more than happy and very excited. There is no other words for that.
Now, you weren't here for the reaction part because you were there, but just a quick recap. I was freaking out because Slave Machine, new album, April 3rd.
Yes.
See, I do my homework. I was paying attention this time. And okay, so we checked out Slave Machine, which is exactly what we hoped for. It was in our face. It was loud. It was fast. It was musically exactly what we expect from Nervosa. Arguably the two heaviest, fastest, most pure metal bands that are all women come from South America. What is that? What is going on? Why is, if metal changes throughout time, if you're an old school speed thrash, just I want metal, you just go to South America. What is it about South America that metal is still in its pure, heavy, fast sense? What is that going on down there?
I think it's the heritage from Sepultura for sure. Was the most important band that which opened the doors and make everyone to look like, okay, there is a scene over there, you know? And all of the bands out there are like inspired by them, but also the crowd in Brazil, it's very young, you know? And actually women in general in the whole world are discovered each other and put us closer, because it's very hard to find members in your city and sometimes in your country, but the world is smaller and somehow because of the communications on the internet and everything. And we also are discovering ourselves and supporting each other more than ever. So that makes everything more visible, you know, with this kind of democracy that internet and social media brings.
I think there's also a purity of character. In South America, they don't have time for nuance. We don't have time to be something we're not. We're savage. We're baseline. There's no frills. We're here to make a lot of fast, loud metal. I mean, hell, if you go to Chile, you cross the Andes, what was it? Miss Chile is a metal singer. This is freaking awesome. That's a great thing. And it just, I think for me, when people go like, where's the best metal in the world? I don't like to say that, because every continent, every country, every culture has their own take on metal. And I'm so happy that I lived to see, growing up in the 70s and 80s, that now with the internet and the way metal has grown and the access to see metal from all over the world, to me, when people say, where's the best? I don't know what is the best, but I can tell where it's the most pure and just aggressive is South America. And Nervosa is one of the bands leading the way still, and I love it.
Yes, I think it's because of our reality, and we face violence in a different way.
Yeah.
And so much, and we born fighting for everything. It's very wide society economic talking, you know. The minimum salary in Brazil, it's like $285.
Annual.
So we born already fighting against money.
There's nothing comes easy. You earn and you have to fight for everything, and it shows. So we've checked out Nervosa many, many times in the channel in the past, even in the previous record, and we talked about that. The first release, Slave Machine, was exactly what we hoped for. There was the speed, there was the heavy, there was everything that you were in the past, but there was something different. What is the differences in the new album and the focus for Nervosa going forward? What's something you can share with us about how this came together that we need to be looking for that's new from Nervosa?
I can start saying from my experience as an individual musician, because since the previous album, I started to be a singer. And in the Jailbreak, the previous album, it was very scary moment for me. I was extremely uncomfortable, insecure, with a lot of fears, you know, like I say, like, I have to do it, I will do it. But I was like very scared. And I did things that I had no idea if I would be able to sing that way on stage, if my vocals would last, if I could play and sing and everything. And then after the first tour, I say like, of course, everything's possible, and it's been not that hard that I expected, and everything worked well. So for the second album, after around the 15 tours being a singer, yes, 15 tours being a singer, I just realized like this is something natural for me now. So to record this new album, I was feeling so confident that I was trying different vocals. I was trying absolutely everything and very instinctive, but also I knew what I was doing and what my vocals can do. So the scene was totally different. And also I was feeling more inspired on this new album. Uh, we have the same team. It's the first time that Nervosa is releasing an album with the same lineup. It's the first time. So, and then like everybody was feeling comfort, not only me. Now, leaving me behind and talking about the group, Elena Cortina is the guitarist and composing all the riffs together with me. We had like a really nice time composing Jailbreak, but was the first time for her composing something with a group, doing this in a different level, let's say. And it worked very well, but it's still like everybody was learning in that moment. Now we are still learning, but I mean, we are more evoluting than learn, you know? So we could enjoy more and give more for the album. Also for Micaela, when she recorded the previous album, Jailbreak, she were more like, I'm here to do what you say to me that is good. I give some opinions here, there, but it's not too much my style. But I mean, this time she was feeling more like, I like this music. I'm part of it and I have my vision and I think this would be nice and exactly what we need. So we felt as a stronger team, and everybody has this space and it was magical, man. And I think the results it shows itself.
When you
That's my explanation.
when we talked about last time and we were talking about Jailbreak and the new album, I remember you telling me, I just hope it all works out because you were dealing with the whole stepping into that new role. Isn't it funny we started this conversation with how South American, the people, they fight for everything. Adversity is always there. And there you were. It's exactly what you guys faced. So many new things. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to fight it out. We're going to get into it. We're going to go down. And now you're coming up here and you're like, well, I conquered that because I'm a fighter. Yes, I'm a guitarist, but now I'm a vocalist. Now I'm both, and I own it now. You talk about members of the band all coming into something new. And are they worried? Are they scared? But together, you guys just fought for it. And now you're like, wait, we're still here. It's still us. We don't have to, we can just be who we are. And like you said, for her to come in and say, she's a professional musician, but she's not metal. And now she's like, oh, I'm metal. I'm professional and I'm metal and I'm in. That, I can feel that on these first two songs. And we talked about how it's going, how we're coming into it now. I talked about Slave Machine and everything else. We have got to talk about this new song, Ghost Notes. I anticipated everything until that transition. Everything until that transition was everything that I expect the women of Nervosa to bring to the table. And then all of a sudden, dynamic as fuck. I was like, what is this? This is not just straight in your face metal. Guys started being creative and it twisted into the transition and the solo, and then the reprisal was something with a different energy, a different dynamic. And it was like, whoa, they're just, okay, so they're taking us on a journey now. Is that do you feel that? Like, there's a comfort. So now you could be creative? Because that was different from anything I've heard from you before in a great way Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about Ghost Notes, and was there something was it on purpose to go into that dynamic in the transition towards the second half of that song?
Not exactly, because this was the most planned album for Nervosa, about schedule our activities and organize things. So we're using the few time that we had in our favor. Example, we were talking a lot during the tours about the new album. So this talking, it was very important because everybody could inspired us, because the main composers are me and Elena. We are the riffs and melodies composers. And but the other girls, everything that they were saying was inspiring us. Yes, I like this band, I like these drums, I like this, all this part. And we were just grabbing things. But at the same time, we didn't put any walls, like the things have to be like that. We go to this direction. Not exactly. Like I was feeling that we maybe have to do something like this, yes, and we were just going, but in the middle of the way we were being inspired by other things that we were not blocking. So and then the things like can go straight, but doing a bit of a dance, let's say, like, you know.
You weren't holding yourself back, you weren't putting any blinders, you weren't gatekeeping
No.
yourself. You're like, we are Nervosa.
Yeah.
We were gonna be who we are. We're gonna be loud, we're gonna be fast, we're gonna be savage, we're gonna be thrashy, we're gonna be everything. But we can also be everything that's positive. There's nothing that says we have to be this and this only. And you could feel it. There's something so new and fresh in it that I'm like, oh, I have no idea what's gonna happen. And I've only heard 2 songs. So this
Yeah.
album, I'm like, what else is coming? I'm all excited. So I could see it. There's no limits. No limits.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were feeling like, okay, let's make something heaven groovy, you know. And during the studio, we were recording this song, and we were bringing more ideas. And when we start to see the results, we see like, yes, we can make this, and then we can make that. And we were experiment many things. We were so comfortable that we say, okay, that's why it was the most planned thing. When we arrived in the studio, and by the way, we recorded here in our own studio. We had all the time in the world. So we arrived very ready to play and to finish this, that we have more time for details, which makes a lot of difference. Because before, the songs was good, but maybe if we think a bit more about dynamics, the texture, the song could be a different feeling, you know? So, but this time we were reviewing and re-reviewing and going again and going back and checking and feeling the song, you know, not just like record and then we see the end of the results. No, we were feeling step by step. And because also everybody was in the same vibe, not in a forced way. Naturally, everybody was in the same page with the same feelings and the same wish. So, and then the machine could move and go further.
You are so excited. That makes me excited.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
get into these, I do a lot of these conversations with artists, and sometimes they're yeah, okay, so we got into the studio and we knew we had to do it, and we put it together, and we hope everyone likes it. And then there's the people that are like, because it is like you said, you made it at home. You didn't say, okay, we have 1 month, we have to record the album, we need to travel to this here, we're going to be in the studio, we have this much time. No, we are home. So you have it's family, it's familiarity, all the stuff that would distract you from the creative process, it's still there. You're a touring band. You guys are known for touring. In fact, we talked about, you were like, we toured and we toured and we toured and we. Okay, so the album's going to release in April. How big of a touring year do y'all feel you're going to have in 2026? Have you already started? Has that stuff already been planned? Is there more coming? What can you tell us so far? Because we haven't heard a lot of information about possible touring or lineups or festivals, all that stuff. You and your group, Nervosa, I tell people all the time, the albums are awesome. The videos are incredible. You got to fucking see them live. You have to see it live. Otherwise, you don't feel that passion in the same way. So can you tell us a little bit about live stuff this year? Is there stuff coming up?
Yes, we have a lot of tours coming. We have a lot of things to announce and everything. Everybody's is asking about it. But I have to say, like, we took a break now for this month to concentrate on ourselves and to put ourselves to promote this new album. Because I think it's something important that we have to connect and understand our fans as well, what they want to listen, how they are reacting. And we need to be present, because if we are on tour and releasing an album, we're going to do things more or less. And we don't want to do things more or less. We want to do things 100%. And in the last 2 years, we toured so much. This album was a miracle to happen, because we did like 5 tours in 6 months and we recorded an album in between. We had only 20 days and we made this happen. If I look back, I still don't know how to explain how this happened. And we decided, okay, it's the beginning of the year, winter, let's take a break. We need to rest, and also for us to warm up, to feel excited again, to do it. Also because we want to give a big step. And every time that you need to be a big step, you need more time to practice, to plan everything. And that is one of the part of this. And also because we are promising to our fans from years now that we're gonna give a lot of things like videos, behind the scenes, playthroughs, all of those things in our YouTube channel example. And we are investing a lot in there. We are creating a lot of videos and things for the fans to see how things works with us, because they always ask, they love this. I love to see these things for the bands. But we are on tour all the time that we don't have time for that. But now we created the extra tour and we say like, okay, let's take a break, because when we come back, there will be no break. So let's enjoy every moment here, doing the interviews example, because maybe this interview would not be possible. If we were on tour, it's basically almost impossible.
You'd be on the bus, on a phone. Hey.
Even though sometimes the internet's not good, I have to rest my voice if I'm on tour. I cannot talk so much, and I want to give my best for the interviews. I don't want to do interviews tired and barely answer the things, and my English is, rolling in a hole or something like that, because my mind is fucked up because I'm tired. No, I want to really be here. So this break is being like very important for us.
It's smart.
But tours are coming. For sure, tours are coming. But when comes, will be the tours.
I think it's very smart. It's very responsible, because now that you finally have a stable lineup, you've got your family built, everyone's still together. Because you guys are a touring band, if you don't take the time to step back, reset, enjoy life, you can become a slave to the machine. See what I did there? Slave machine. Anyway, but it's true. And I think that's very smart. I love playthroughs. If you give me the option of watching an official video or a band playthrough in a studio scenario, I'm going for the playthrough. I want to see how every musician creates those different elements, those different layers. You could say, if you give me, and we get to see a lot of that in Nervosa videos. You guys do not shy away from performing in the videos, but sometimes being able to see the dynamics between both guitars, that the layering in the rhythm section, and seeing that's how they did that. Oh, that was sometimes that's my favorite stuff. And I guess for me, when you say we're going to do behind the scenes, maybe some playthroughs and stuff, I get excited for that. I am a little bit of a junkie for that, so I'm in. Just make sure you let us know. I'll be there, I promise. So there's tour announcements coming. Are there more videos coming?
Yes.
Okay. Because we've got 2 so far, but
yeah. I can spoiler here. We still didn't announce, but I can say here.
Okay.
The day that our album will be released, there will be a new single with a new video.
And we'll be there.
April 3rd.
I will be there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there.
And that's gonna be something really crazy. If you want to be surprised,
really?
stay tuned for that.
Because like the first 2 haven't been, well, no, actually they've been pretty average for y'all. Anybody else be like, what the hell was that? I'm like, nah, it's Nervosa. That's pretty normal. That's whatever normal is. Okay.
Wait for the third one, because everybody that already listened to the album, they say like the third one is the favorite.
Ooh.
So it's been something crazy. It's something totally different than Nervosa already did it. But being Nervosa, it's crazy. It's hard to explain. You have to check it.
Okay, so now that the ladies have become a sisterhood through time and touring, I have fun questions. We've done the album questions, and that's always fun. But I have the fun questions now.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. This is for Prika and Prika only. Okay. Since you're a touring band and you love to tour, what is the one thing that if you left it at home and went on tour, you cannot say in-ears, you can't say your guitar, we know that. What's the one personal item that if you left it at home, you would be miserable until someone back home got that thing mailed to you on the road so you could be happy again? Is there something from home, if you don't have it, you're miserable?
It's not from home, but it's something funny. Actually, after 30, you start to feel more pain. So you need those bags that you can put hot water inside that save you so much.
Physical therapy
so every
equipment.
Time that I skip to bring it, I regret. Say, fuck, why I didn't bring this, and I buy a new one. I have like 4 in my house because I always say, no, I'm not gonna need it. And then second week of the tour, I say, I needed that shit, and I buy a new one. Fuck it.
I have a mobile tins unit for my back with the little pads and the electricity for my, because when you get, okay, you're obviously a very young lady. And I'm obviously this is not real. I do this on purpose. I'm 27, but when we get older, it's like that. What was that stupid movie with the guy where he was a drummer, and he finally got a break to go on the road, but he was so old that by the time they went on tour, he had to have ice packs on his arms and his knees every night because he was like, I finally got my break. I finally get to go on tour, but I'm like in my mid 40s and I just can't do it. And yeah. Okay. I will tell you right now, you are the first person to not give me what answer could I give him to I don't look like I'm falling apart. You're the first person to say, I need physical therapy equipment. It's hard to be on tour. You're the most honest person I've ever had answer that question. Prika from Nervosa.
Because I'm on the road for so many years. I just realized that I did more than 42 tours from the last 10 years. So, and then I just was thinking like, I don't need anything in my house anymore because I don't live in my house. You know, like clothes, I can buy a new one. There is nothing that I can be attached to my house, you know, like things that I can feel more comfortable on the road. So it's like the electric things I have, the bags for the hot water, all of these things. Like these are the best. This brings comfort, but because take your pain away. So
and you're not exactly playing smooth jazz, easy listening music. It's a lot of metal stances, and the knees are extended, and you're like, look at this, and I'm like, this really hurts right now. But the crowd, fuck it, I'm good. And then afterwards, you're like,
pain is good because bring more angriness, so then I can give more. I have a reason to scream.
We're having way too much fun with this bullshit. Okay, real quick. One more, and then you have to go because you have so many of these to do. Okay, now that you ladies have become a sisterhood, you spent some time, everyone's together, there's no new additions, everything as it is, without embarrassing anyone.
Aye.
No, do not embarrass any of the ladies. Okay. On tour, which one has the most annoying habit and what is it? And you can throw yourself under the bus if you need to protect your sisters. There's got to be somebody that has, they eat a certain food you don't like the smell. They do a certain thing like in travel or something. You're like, if they ever stop doing that, I'm going to be so happy. And you know what? I'm going to help you out. You don't have to say the name. If you just want to say what it is, and just like, if you don't want to out that person, that's fine too. Try not to draw.
Okay, it can be. There is one person in the band that is sleeping
They don't even
like
know.
an alien, like an alien, because this person is able to sleep like 25 hours without stop. And it's a bit annoying because we want to have fun together. And maybe sometimes the person is not there because she really needs to sleep, and she sleep a lot. You have no idea.
And can she also sleep like anywhere? Planes, waiting lines,
Yes.
in chairs? She's one of
Yes.
those people? Oh,
Yes.
the
Yes.
only reason why I hate those people is because I can't do it. I have to kind of sort of be down, otherwise I don't sleep. I'm just like, but yeah.
No, it's because it's sad, because sometimes we have a very funny moment.
And they missed
Example,
it.
We have like the end of the tour photo. She's already sleeping. I said, whoa, I want you to be part of this.
I
You know?
actually had that happen. You're not the only band. I went to meet a band and we were doing something and we were hanging out, and we went to go do something in Texas that people do in Texas. And they were excited about doing this in Texas. If you've been to Texas, there's a lot of crazy shit in Texas people get to do.
Yeah.
So we're doing this one thing and I'm like, hey, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, they're in the tour bus. They're asleep. And I was like, really? They were like, yeah, if they don't sleep like at a certain time, by the time we get to the next stop, their performance suffers. I was like, wow. Okay, well then that's totally important to them. And I was like, so do they sleep the whole time? They're like, no, they wake up extremely early the next day when we're all sleeping, and it annoys the crap out of us. So they're one of those people that goes to bed early because they get up before everyone. But this person,
Listen,
yeah, so
yeah, like I understand. Like, sleep on tour, it's something that everybody needs.
Yes.
Okay. But what I'm talking about is something else.
it
And
is.
it's go like way. It's untouchable, you know.
What-
You see, I never saw any human
If
that is
you-
able to do what she does, and I say like, how?
You need to write a song
watch
called
you.
Sleep Like the Dead. And then when you play it live, go, this one's for you. Sleep Like the Dead. It's, yeah. There you go. All right. So that's the end of our time. I hope to hear more from you guys. I cannot wait to see if you guys tour the United States.
We will.
I've got to catch it. And you'll see my ugly fat self in the crowd. I want to do that. Everyone, Prika from Nervosa. Incredible first two songs. We're waiting for that third one, like you said. Album drops April 3rd. Of course, one of the most savage bands that shows it. And I gotta say, holding it honorary, loving it from South America. Y'all do it like it's legit, real, and that's what we love about it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and it was very nice to talk with you again. And I hope to see you very soon in the US, because this is gonna happen. So stay tuned.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.